I've never owned a bike before.
Dude, I love your bike.
So nice.
Who called the cops?
That lady that was out in front of yard filming. If I keep riding wheelies, she's gonna have me towed.
What is up, Nautogrom fam? You've been watching my videos, you know that I recently acquired this brand spanking new 2018 Ninja 400, and you also know that I attempted to put Pro Taper pillow tops on it, and that they are, well, way too short. You got a nice little gap here and a nice little gap here, and of course the reason that I decided to go with those, or at least attempted to, is because that's what I have on the Z125 back there, if we can get it to focus. But on the Ninja, they're just a little bit too short, so I did a little bit of research and I ran across another video on YouTube of these Driven Racing D-axis grips. And they're like a rubberized gel, and they have these nice aluminum end pieces on them, and they look really good. They didn't really have a color selection that I really liked that matched the bike really well. It was essentially these are black, so I decided to go with the silver, even though it doesn't really match a whole lot other than maybe the accents like the brake pedal and some of the side accents on the bike. But I think they'll look really nice, and I wanted to show you how I go about putting grips on. And if you're new to motorcycling, then you probably don't know how to do this anyway, so I figured, hey, it'd be a pretty good, easy, quick video to do. Now, while we're doing this install, I'm also going to be installing this, which looks like just a stock throttle tube, but this is actually a Yamaha R6 throttle tube for the year model 2005. I read on one of the Ninja 400 forums that this actually functions as a quick twist. Now there's another company that actually makes a all aluminum quick twist for both the 400 and the Z125, but this is kind of a hack in a way. This is an $8 OEM throttle tube for the R6 that functions with the factory controls of the Kawasaki and actually shortens your twist, so you know, instead of having to turn all the way down like this, you can just turn something more like this, so you know, you don't have to readjust your grip at full throttle. So I'll be showing you how to install that as well. Now, as far as tools are concerned, all you're really going to need is a metric number 6 Allen head for this bar end here, and then a Phillips head screwdriver, just a standard Phillips head screwdriver to take these two Phillips head screws out of the back of the controls here, and just your average run-of-the-mill razor knife. First, we'll start out by removing this bar end and the two screws on the back of the controls here. Alright, once you got the screws out, you just take the controls apart. Just like that. And you've got this line here you take off. And then this piece comes completely out of the back, and you've got your return cable that you take off. And then that just slides right off. And then there's our retarded looking Pro Taper grip on our OEM Ninja throttle tube. Now you'll notice that when you take this throttle tube out of the package, that it's got this end plate on it, this little cap. It is actually a cap, it's not solid, so when you slide it up on there, it knocks that little piece right off, so you don't even have to worry about it. Alright, let's get these cables attached. And make sure you get it back in the slot exactly where it was before. Also, if you're having trouble getting the back plate to attach, you'll notice if you look, there's a hole on the back of the handlebar right there. And on the inside of the plate there's this little notch. That little notch goes inside of that little hole. So we just line all this back up, put our back plate on. This can be a little finicky, so if it takes you a little while to get it perfect, don't feel bad. That's pretty normal. Especially when you're trying to put it on upside down. Now I just got to find our little groove. Just kind of hard to do because you can't really see it. Oh, there it is. So that feels pretty good. Let's put our screws in. Alright, it's good and tight. Twist feels good. Quite a bit shorter. Alright, now we move on to installing the grip itself, which is mostly rubber. It's really soft, feels like it would be very comfortable. And then it's just got these little lightweight aluminum rings on each end, which just kind of give it a little style and a little extra structure. Now normally this would be the part of the video where I recommend my favorite grip glue, which actually isn't grip glue at all. It's a Rust-Oleum triple thick glaze. It's actually a kind of a clear coat for pottery and such. It gives it that thick, clear, smooth finish. I actually use it on the Z125 and it works perfectly, especially on these Pro Taper bars and this particular throttle tube from Kawasaki. But for example, when I first got this bike, I put some Renthal bars on it, and I put the grips on and they never slipped. But when I switched to the Pro Taper, they're just a slightly smaller diameter. Especially the other side of the bike, they would just turn and turn and turn. So I used some of this stuff, just sprayed it on the inside, and they just slid right up on there, and within 30 minutes they were tight, and they haven't moved since. They're totally solid. However, with the Ninja, these grips fit on here so tight. After doing a little bit of experimenting, I honestly don't think they're going to need grip glue. But stay tuned to later videos and we'll see if they slip. If they don't, I'll go back and get some traditional grip glue. I actually thought I had some laying around before I started making this video, but apparently I don't. So I'm just going to risk it, do it the old-fashioned way, and slide them up on there with some good old-fashioned spit. Alright, got me some good old-fashioned spit there. I'm just going to run it all inside so we can lube it up. Just kind of finger it a little. And of course the reason you use spit is because it'll evaporate and then it'll just be stuck in place. Alright, just shove it up on there. Now my hands are all covered in spit, so it's going to be kind of difficult to get it to slide. Oh, it's going up there. Now if you do use standard grip glue, it doesn't dry near as quickly as that other stuff, so you'll have a good 30 minutes to an hour to really mess with it to get it right. And again, these fit so tight that I honestly don't think they're going to slip, but if they do, like I said, I'll just order some grip glue and go back and just repeat the process. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's put our bar end back on with our number 6 Allen socket. And that looks good. I like that. Alright, let's move on to the other side. Now, as I stated before, they glue these grips on pretty hardcore. Like, you're going to have severe trouble getting those off without tearing them up, so you might as well just tear them up. So we just make an incision there and go straight down like a surgeon cutting his grips off for the very first time. Ta-da! This side seems to be going on there a little bit easier. Kind of use that aluminum as a way to push it up on there. Alright, that's all there is to it. I'd say those look pretty great. A far better improvement over the OEM grips. They're definitely a lot softer and would be a lot more comfortable. And even though this grip didn't work out, one thing that I did notice, you know, in my previous video I said that because it didn't fit, I only did this side and not this side. Well, one thing I noticed after riding for an hour or so, that my right hand would be perfectly fine and my left hand would be all crampy and hurt and stuff. And it was because even though this didn't fit properly, it was actually a lot more comfortable than the stock grips. So I'm pretty much expecting the same performance out of these. They feel just as soft and I think they will perform just as well. And of course, they actually look good and fit a whole lot better. Now, with that out of the way, I think I'm gonna take the old girl to car wash and knock some of these bugs off that I've collected in the last few days. But as always, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you next time. Peace.
What's up, kiddo? If there's anybody from HJC listening, fuck you. This helmet sucks. Where do you want to meet at?
I don't know. What do you want me to?
You want to meet at Starbucks? What direction are we going? What are you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing?
You go, that's good. Oh, man, Cody was with you. I was like, oh, wait, there's Cody.